All right. Hey, everyone. This is the David Washington Show. I am your host. I am the David Washington. We're back at the Oxford Sports Pub and Secret Society here in Altamont Springs, Florida. And I am happy to be back here. We had their appetizers, and it was delicious. Very good. I can still sense the sauce on my lips. A little spicy, but delicious. Man, it is Holy Week. A lot is going on. Short session for the Florida legislature, for Congress, but still, there's a lot going on and a lot that you, our listeners, and our viewers should be aware of. Please, if you have the opportunity, go to the congressional website and learn what bills are being presented and discussed. Go to the Florida legislature website if you're from Florida and learn what bills are being presented and discussed because there's a lot going on and a lot of the stuff is not, in my opinion, everyone has their opinion. However, in my opinion, it's questionable legislation. Now, saying that, this is the David Washington Show, a product of J and Washington LLC, our premier political campaign management and public relations firm here in Central Florida. Please, if you're on our YouTube channel at J Washington, hit the notification button so you know when our shows are broadcasting. Please like, share the information that you view, comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us your opinion. We love to hear from you. We will respond. We like to know what our community is saying, and we like to grow our community. So please hit the notification bell, share with your friends, family, cohorts, peers, with your local politician, with influencers. It will really help in us growing our community. So I appreciate that. I About a week or so ago, I was watching C-SPAN. Actually, no, it was the Booknotes Plus podcast through C-SPAN. And earlier in our podcasting history, I started a podcast discussing Elmer Stewart Rhodes, the Oath Keeper who was found guilty by a court of seditious conspiracy. And I was quite, not necessarily, yes, I was concerned about the Oath Keepers, about January 6th, about the trial, in a way of why would Mr. Rhodes want to disrupt the business of the government establishing its new president and President Biden on January 6th. And I was curious about Elmer Stewart Rhodes' thinking, his background, and I started to do some research and learned that I believe he was a Harvard or Yale, but I know he was an Ivy League graduate, an attorney. Wrote a paper for one of his courses, and it was along the lines of what to do with the enemy combatant status. And being a child of the Gulf War protests and demonstrations, I was very interested in hearing what he had to say. I was very interested in learning his point of view and the point of view of people who sympathize with him and where they're going with this and where our government's going. So back to the Book Notes Plus episode 107, Oath Keepers Trial Juror. In this particular episode, and I encourage everyone to check it out. Um, it's the Booknotes Plus episode 107, Oath Keepers Trial Juror. And Brian Lamb, the interviewer, and also, I believe, the founder of Booknotes, or at least C-SPAN, in cooperation with the broadcasting networks creating C-SPAN, interviewed a juror of a recent Oath Keepers trial in D.C. It was a trial of several individuals and their 15 attorneys being prosecuted for various crimes, from trespass to even more serious crimes. And it was a lesson in our judicial system for me. The juror went through the process of becoming a juror and telling us what it was like to be a juror, listening to the testimony, being just feet away from these individuals who were on trial for disrupting our government to one degree or another. It was just fascinating. And again, I really encourage you all to listen to this particular podcast. And if it's available, it should be available on the C-SPAN network. Very incredible. And to take us on this journey of being chosen as a juror, the stress of being a juror, how the government, and it was a federal trial, so this was in DC, how the government reimburses jurors for their civic duty. Um, the personalities from the lawyers to the actual defendants. I think there were 12 prosecutors. It was a big trial. Everyone was tried in the same courtroom in the same trial. There was one or two of the defendants who did not even put up a defense. Their lawyers thought that this was a sham. They were those defendants were subsequently found guilty. However, in this podcast, the juror was saying how, the attorney was sitting in the back of the courtroom laughing at some of the charges or testimony or statements that were made, and we're talking about someone's life. And the defendants range from older couple, retired grandparents, to a young man who was allegedly autistic. And it was just fascinating. It was one gentleman who used a ton of profanity. um, did not help his case. It's unfortunate. However, just understanding, I mean, just getting the inside view of what it means to be a juror was it was an incredible experience to listen to. And again, I encourage this for everyone to listen to. And I'm really concerned because these individuals who were on trial passionately believed that the current President Biden, was not truthfully, legally elected as president, that Donald J. Trump was cheated out of being the president. And their views were so stern and so embedded in their psyche, and the passion that they have. And I thought to myself, there's others like them who are just as passionate or even more passionate about that election, about Donald Trump, about the fear that their rights are in jeopardy. That maybe given the circumstance, they would have been right there with these defendants on January 6th, storming Congress to prevent the lawful business of the legislature. And this passion at times is admirable, but at many times it's frightening because I know there's so many more, and we're not having a conversation where these folks and their detractors at least try to come together and have a conversation and find some common ground in regards to things that legislation or regulations that we can have a common sense conversation about without yelling at each other, arguing, fighting, threatening one another, but find some common ground and the understanding of one another, because some of the disparaging things that these individuals had for their opposition scare the shit out of me. The dehumanization of another group of people, and it happens on the other side too. I mean, they dehumanize, folks like the Stuart Rhodes, and I wonder what's at stake. What everything's at stake, and our democracy, our representative democracy, is at stake. We're losing ground in the world. America is. We're losing our good standing. We're becoming more and more divided. And unfortunately, we just don't have the time. Many of us just don't have the time, the energy, the effort, the resources to pause, to register for their mail-in ballot, to educate our kids about civic engagement and civic duty, to even vote, to educate ourselves on the issues that matter the most, our kitchen table issues, and presenting those kitchen table issues to the people who want to earn our vote and holding them accountable when they are elected to represent us. It's scary. It's very scary out there, and I just hope that we try to have a conversation. Congratulations to the new mayor of Chicago. I wish you well. You need to bring the city together, not pull it apart. Congratulations to the new Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin. There's a lot of work ahead of us. It's getting busy for JNW. We're getting busy. There's a lot on our plate. Don't forget about Political Salsa coming to Central Florida in July. We're looking forward to one of the premier organizations, gatherings of politicals, particularly in the Latino community, coming together, celebrating Latin American culture, Puerto Rican culture, the politics. It's a lot ahead of us. Please tune in to The Morning Constitution with Joel Hawksley, the David Washington Show with me, yours truly. You can't make this shit up. Our premier flagship podcast with Joel and I. We really appreciate it. Like, share, hit the notification button. And guess what? Every Monday, 5 minutes of me talking directly to you, giving you that secret sauce like they have here at the Oxford, that secret sauce of running an effective political campaign. This is Stephen Washington. I'm out.